A peaceful gathering turned chaotic in seconds begins in a moment so calm that no one thought danger was even possible. A place where people gathered with open hearts, relaxed smiles, and a sense of safety that felt almost permanent. And if you believe peace is something that can never suddenly disappear, stay with this story until the very end, because what happened here proves how fragile normal life really is. And before we go further, take a second to like this video and subscribe, because stories like this are not just entertainment, they are warnings we all need to hear. The gathering was meant to bring people together. Friends greeted each other warmly, families stood close, conversations flowed easily, and the atmosphere felt light, familiar, and secure. There were no signs of trouble, no raised voices, no visible fear, just people enjoying a shared moment. Many had attended similar gatherings before and never imagined anything could go wrong. The sense of trust was so strong that people lowered their guard completely. Children moved freely, elders sat comfortably, and laughter filled the air. But what most people don't realize is that chaos rarely announces itself. It hides inside small details, tiny mistakes and overlooked signals that seem harmless until they collide at the worst possible moment. It started with something simple, so small that most people didn't even notice it at first. A sound that didn't belong, a movement that felt out of place, a reaction that spread faster than understanding. Heads turned, confusion appeared on faces, and in that single instant, peace cracked. A shout broke through the noise of conversation, sharp and unexpected, and suddenly everyone was alert. Not knowing why, but feeling something was wrong. Fear does not need facts to grow. It only needs uncertainty, and uncertainty spread like fire. People began asking questions, voices overlapped, some tried to calm others, but panic moves quicker than calm ever can, within seconds. The energy changed completely. Bodies pressed closer, people pushed instinctively, trying to protect themselves and their loved ones. What was once a peaceful space became a maze of confusion, fear, and movement. Some people froze in shock, unable to process how fast everything had changed, while others ran without knowing where safety was. The human brain, when overwhelmed, chooses survival over logic, and that is exactly what happened here. Witnesses later described the moment as unreal, like watching a calm dream turn into a nightmare without warning. Sounds felt louder, time felt distorted, and every second felt dangerous. Rumors spread instantly. Some believed an attack was happening, others thought something had collapsed, and some feared the worst without any confirmation. But once fear takes control of a crowd, truth becomes secondary. People stumbled, belongings fell to the ground, cries filled the air, and the sense of unity that once held everyone together shattered into individual. Survival instincts, emergency responders would later describe the scene as heartbreaking, not because of what caused it, but because of how preventable it was when order finally began to return. The silence that followed was heavy. People stood shaking, holding on to strangers, trying to understand what had just happened. Many asked the same question over and over. How did this happen so fast? How did peace turn into chaos in seconds? Investigations later revealed that the trigger was not a single evil act, but a chain reaction of human error, miscommunication, and panic amplified by crowd behavior, proving that disaster does not always come from obvious threats. Sometimes it comes from simple mistakes combined with fear. Survivors spoke about the emotional scars that followed: sleepless nights, fear of crowds, sudden anxiety triggered by loud sounds, and the realization that safety is never guaranteed. Yet something unexpected also emerged from the chaos. People who had never met before formed bonds, communities demanded better planning and awareness, and lessons were learned the hard way. This story matters because it could happen anywhere, at any event, to anyone. When preparation is weak and warning signs are ignored, peace is not permanent. It is something that must be protected, respected, and carefully managed. And the most shocking truth is that the gathering did not fail because people were careless, but because they believed nothing could go wrong. And that belief is often the most dangerous thing of all. So if this story made you rethink how quickly life can change, like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about, because awareness saves lives, and understanding how chaos begins is the first step to preventing it. And as the shock slowly settled into reality, the true weight of what had happened began to sink in. People started checking on each other, calling out names, searching faces, and realizing how close they had come to serious tragedy. Some were injured, others were emotionally shaken, but almost everyone felt the same haunting thought, that a few seconds decided everything. Experts later explained that large gatherings create a shared emotional space, meaning fear can spread faster than any physical danger. And once panic starts, it feeds on itself, growing stronger with every scream, every push, every confused movement. And this gathering became a living example of that truth. What began as one unclear moment multiplied into hundreds of reactions, each one amplifying the next. Security footage later showed how quickly the shift happened, calm expressions turning tense, relaxed postures becoming defensive, and orderly movement turning chaotic, all in the span of seconds. Many survivors said they didn't even understand what they were running from. They only knew they had to move because everyone else was moving. And that is how crowds behave under stress. Individuals stop thinking as individuals and start reacting. As a single organism driven by fear, psychologists call this crowd panic. And it is one of the most dangerous forces in public spaces because it does not require a real threat to cause real harm. Only the belief that danger exists, and that belief was enough to turn a peaceful gathering into a scene of chaos. As authorities reconstructed the timeline, it became clear that better communication could have changed everything. A clear announcement, a calm voice, visible leadership, any of these could have slowed the panic before it exploded. But in the absence of clarity, imagination filled the gap, and imagination often chooses the worst possible outcome. Families later spoke about the terror of being separated, of losing sight of loved ones in the crowd, of not knowing if they were safe or hurt. Children remembered the fear in adult voices, the shaking hands, and the confusion that followed them long after the event ended. These experiences leave deep marks, even when physical injuries heal. The mind remembers chaos vividly, and for many this gathering became a reference point for fear, changing how they viewed public events forever. Yet amid the fear, there were moments of humanity that stood out. Strangers lifting fallen people, shielding children, guiding elders to safety, and using their own bodies to protect others, reminding everyone that even in chaos, compassion can exist. These acts did not erase the trauma, but they softened it, showing that people are capable of courage even when terrified. Community leaders later addressed the public, acknowledging mistakes, promising reforms, and urging people not to let fear define them. Safety protocols were reviewed, crowd management strategies were updated, and the event became a case study used to educate others, turning pain into purpose, because the most powerful outcome of tragedy is learning. This story is not about blaming individuals. It is about understanding systems, psychology, and responsibility. It is about realizing that peace is fragile not because people are weak, but because environments must be designed with human behavior in mind. And when they are not, chaos fills the gap instantly. The gathering was meant to bring unity, and although it ended in fear, it also sparked conversations that reached far beyond that single day, reminding everyone that preparation is not pessimism, it is care, and awareness is not fear, it is protection. And if you take one lesson from this story, let it be this: calm moments deserve as much planning as emergencies, because when something goes wrong, there is no time to prepare, only time to react, and reactions without guidance can be dangerous. So if this story changed how you think about crowds, safety, and how quickly life can shift, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more real stories that matter, and share it with someone you care about, because understanding how chaos begins is the first step to making sure it doesn't happen again.